McGivern. That's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? How we doing? Can you believe it? I can't believe it. Manchester United has won a game in penalty shootouts. The only thing I didn't want to see was us going to penalties because I was so confident we were going to bottle it. Whew, a final. We're headed to another final. We're headed to a Manchester Derby final. There's no tougher team in the land to play for an FA Cup. Love an FA Cup. Then City, they're riding high at the moment. They're about to take an edge in the title race this week when they play Arsenal. But now it's all about Manchester United, sir. Semi-final against Brighton. They were chipping up. They were playing some decent football. I thought United were well in it. Big one was United probably a little bit wasteful in the last third. Weren't good enough with our chances. We had a bunch of really good opportunities, and then the ref just letting them basically do tactical foul after tactical foul, bringing down our players when we were going on the break and never having a yellow. The fact that they made 16 fouls and got one yellow card, and we got loads of them. Part of the deal, unfortunately, in England. Best league in the world, worst refs in the world, but we're not talking about it today. We're talking about
You're complaining about the ref.
Well, it's part of the game. Iceman ices it. He had a great performance. AWB had a great performance. De Gea made some huge saves in the game. Penalties, we knew that what was going to happen there. But most importantly, everybody bears their penalty, including Wout. Can't believe it. He celebrated like Wout celebrates. But United go through, and big week. You know, we got a rebound from the Sevilla match, and now we're headed to a big game against Spurs to lock up top four. Sir, how we feeling? How we doing?
Feeling good. I mean, the only cure for that horrid Sevilla match might be a nervy penalty win against Brighton. Could have been a little more confident. Our attack could have had more teeth. Ultimately, it was a KG Cup final. Brighton had a lot of great chances. Dave saves, redeeming himself here in this game. And that's the ups and downs of David De Gea, really. You know, he bottled a lot of the Sevilla match and then steps up big with some what is he good at? He's good at reaction saves, and he, I think 3-4 kept him out. Didn't save a penalty. That's not his strength either. But we go through, and big team performance. Luke Shaw, center back. Lindelof played well without Harry Maguire next to him. Like you said, shout an AWB. We defended very well, and that's what you want. This team came out. This is a Brighton on the rise, one of the top attacking teams in Europe. We held it. We created chances. Should have done more. I thought Anthony didn't quite have his best game. He got into some space, didn't do much with it. Rashford was a little muted there. Martial kind of going nowhere for the 80 minutes he had on the team. And you can see we're really thin, begging for these reinforcements this summer because you want to go on and you want to win things. You're going to have to face Erling Haaland in the final. We did best City earlier this season, but we were fully healthy and we were on our stride. Now we feel like it's patchwork, but we're going to be able to fight for a cup, and we might be able to fight to deny our crosstown rivals the right to claim the treble. And what better way? The stars are written. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Not if we have our say in the matter, sir.
We're going to deny them. That match meaning something in the treble is going to. If Man City do win the treble, they will have to.
They're going to have to go through Real Madrid, right? Because they're playing them in the semifinals. They're going to play. We're no slouch. Brighton's up and coming, but United in a cup final at the Wembley against their city rivals, where they're going to have no fans, making no noise, and we're going to be fucking ripping. We are in it. We're in it. We're in it. We're in it. We obviously got some luck in that home win, right? That offsides call was very controversial. We're going to have a makeshift back four for sure, but this team is full of dogs. I don't even think we played anywhere near our best today. The midfield muted. They have a very good midfield. McAllister, obviously we talk at length about Moise Caicedo, and their number 10, who I've never seen before, the Uruguayan. He was very good as well. So it was a good test for United. Eriksen wasn't in it much. Even Casemiro wasn't at his finest. Bruno was okay, but stifled to a certain extent. But we did have chances. We did get in behind them, but we were wasteful with it. And at the same time, they had, this is like out of the City book. They had so many fucking tactical fouls when we were trying to break them. But
should have been more yellows.
Should have been way more yellows.
You're right about that. But that's just. But here's the deal. It comes down to Brighton are on the rise. Like since the beginning of the year, I think they're the second best attacking team in like all of Europe. It's like the stats are insane, and we held them. It was a KG Cup semifinal. We held them, defended well after like getting bossed by Sevilla, who's just not even in the conversation in attacking size in Europe. So quite the turnaround. It wasn't the best watch, but gritting it through, getting to the final, and then having a say in whether our rivals are going to win a treble, I think is huge, because United fans, we would love to play spoiler there. And if we do, like, there could not be a fitting end to this season. I know we're out of the Europa League, but the FA Cup final is huge. Tons of history in the competition, and we want to win. But before we break it down, we got a quick PSA for the podcast. If you like the America Red Devils, we are for fans, by fans. No ads on the podcast. You want to support us, check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/America Red Devils. We do behind-the-scenes episodes. There's tons of benefits. You get an extra episode, like I mentioned, every single month. Great way to support us and keep the podcast ad-free. Please check it out. Also, we have our store, americadevils.store. Great merch, scarves, Glazers Out scarves. We still need those. We got pins, stickers, scarves, shirts, you name it, everything there. Grab something, support the pod. Also, check out our website, americareddevils.com. Great fan blog content. And oh, yeah, if you want to get your hot Muppet take out there, email us, americadevils@gmail.com. And we will sign you up for the blog. Tell them about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews are a great way to support the pod. They help us get found organically by other top Muppets like yourself, and even better, it's going away soon, but we got an extra special giveaway for now, which is we're giving away free Glazer Out scarves. This is going to be one of the last pods we talk about it, because we are running low, sir. We've been running through scarves, but if you want one, get them while they're hot. All you have to do is write a 5-star review of the America Red Devils podcast wherever you listen, ideally on Spotify or iTunes, and send a screenshot of the review to americareddevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I'll personally pick, pack, and ship a free America Red Devil designed Glazer Out green and gold scarf sent right to your door anywhere in the world. Like I said, they're running low, so this will be one of the last pods we give you that option. Here's a great 5-star review. Fun pod from Brian Noonan. Great podcast and energy. I really like how the previous match with game clips, I try to catch it every match. Curse is broken. He's talking about silverware, baby. We're talking about denying City the treble. How about just winning an FA Cup? You know, I would have picked this over Europa League. I think it has more prestige, the oldest cup competition in the world. But Europa League would have been easier. We have to go through. We got a mountain to climb.
No, winning in Europe is something United need to do more.
But it's not
and
Champions
this
League.
team needs to know how to do more, like going away, how to hold on to a lead, how to go away in a hostile environment and grit out a result. I mean, these are all things we need experience at. And so I still think the Europa League was a big deal to drop out of, unfortunately.
But we got a final. We're going to a final. We're going to a big final, and we're playing a big team. None bigger in terms of a quality perspective. Obviously, a lot of bigger clubs, but they have a top team. It's going to be a huge challenge for United, but you never know. In a cup game, United always
sound confident, sir. You sound very confident. Very
How
low
confident are
energy
you? You were
over
talking. You were low energy. Yeah,
here.
low energy. Alex.
I hope maybe we can win FA Cup.
I'm being cagey. I'm being cagey. Because
You're cagey.
if we had Martinez and Varane, we'll talk about Varane in the news. I'd be more confident, but we're going to be doing a makeshift back
Varane
line.
could be back.
Nah.
It's not ruled out. He said up to 6 weeks.
That's true.
Up
That's
to.
true. I like
it was
your
not
optimism.
a
I like the optimism.
minimum 6 weeks. It was an up to.
That's true.
And
He's not getting surgery like
he's
our
a
boy.
dog, and we got a cup, and he's going to be hungry for some cups. So,
true.
let's see how it goes. But let's get into it. Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Manchester United 0. United win on pens after a scoreless extra time. 6-7. Lindelof was the one to do it. Let's get into that lineup. Dave saves. He's got the title, world number 1, back in net. Dalot, Shaw, Lindelof, center back pairing, Wan-Bissaka at right back, Eriksson, Casemiro, midfield 2, Bruno in the hole, Rashford on the left, Martial up top, and Antony on the right. How are you feeling about this 11?
I mean, from a front 6 perspective, that's as strong as a group of players as we have really this season. In the back 4, given the injuries, given where we're looking at in terms of Maguire being suspended, obviously we're a stronger team without Maguire, so the fact that he was suspended made that choice easy. But I think it's cobbled together well. You might see Malacia instead of a Dalot, but Dalot's been looking pretty solid at left back. He's also been cutting inside a lot, which is something we've seen over these last few matches. So what does numpty Alex always say? This has got to be good enough to beat a Brighton side, even a high-flying Brighton side. And then the battle really went down in the midfield. It was all fought there. It was a decent watch from a neutral perspective. But what did you think when you saw this 11, sir?
Look, the only question I had is Fred. I thought Eriksson looked gassed away in Sevilla. Fred's got energy, can match that Brighton midfield. Casemiro and Fred did Barcelona dirty. I don't know why he's out of favor by the manager. That was really the only change I could get, and obviously getting Wout to start up top. Everyone wants him to come in. Yeah, exactly. Just having a bit of a laugh here. Let's get into the first half. Cagey start to the match. Neither side looked too exposed. That sums it up. It was nervy from both ends. No one really went for it. That's kind of when you get in these Wembley matches. People are nervous until there's that breakthrough, and then things change. And sometimes it doesn't. You go to penalties. 7th minute, De Gea with a nice save from a dangerous Brighton free kick. De Gea wise to it. And he does usually bounce back after a horrid performance.
He does. As does this United side. So you're glad to say we were in this match from the jump and didn't put up an egg, which would have been awful after the egg down in Andalusia.
14th minute, good save for Brighton after Bruno takes a wicked shot from inside the box. Bruno looking dangerous. This is what we missed against Sevilla. I feel like Bruno is really the difference maker in attack right now, or at least when our attack's sputtering, he opens it up, gets involved, and this is a great example of that. 32nd minute, AWB with a huge tackle on Matoma, following up on a shot wide. Brighton in the mix, getting frisky. They were running at us. They were going for it as well. 38th minute, Martial fouled on the break. No foul, no card. It was a lot of that today. And for me, what I got to say, the tactical fouls are ruining the game.
They are.
They really have to come down and tell players, you can't be doing these glaring tactical fouls. It should be a guaranteed yellow. If you pull someone down in that manner, it has to be yellow. So you can do it, but you're getting yellows.
You have to, because I honestly think it took so much out of this match based on the fact that we could have had opportunities for either team to go. We weren't doing it really to them, and when we did do it, we did get yellows. But they did this so many times that you would have thought it was City. And if you let them get away with it, they're just going to keep doing it. So they just kept doing it because they never got punished. And that was unfortunate, because I think we get a goal, then they can go for a goal. It would have been a more exciting game, and instead it was just blanks all around because the tactical fouls weren't. They're an effective thing to do to stop play if there is no punishment.
44th minute, Bruno goes just wide from United break. No one at the far post. I felt like we were just disconnected in attack. 46th, chance for Martial at the edge of the box after Brighton gave it away. He chips it over. And 42nd minute, another great chance for United at the end of the half. Eriksen with a good pullback shot, but was right at the keeper. Just not a lot of teeth in our attack. I did feel Brighton, the chances they created, had a little more meat on them than ours. Antony had some good moments to try to drive into space, but again, he lacks that second gear to go by a man. The decision-making was a little off on everyone in attack today. I'm just going to say we lacked the teeth to put it over the finish line. That Zlatan, I'm going to win this game at Wembley vibe. We didn't have it.
A lot of good balls in on the far post. We've talked about that for a while. There's been a lot of good balls in, and there's nobody at the back post to smash it in. Which the Cities and Arsenals do all day, right? They always have people running far post, putting those balls in. And we need that. We need a striker that kind of knows for it. Even Rashford, not his best day. The front three was not their best. I thought Bruno was pretty effective, but there was nobody kind of linking up to make it happen. Cagey match, kind of classic semifinal. Everyone trying to get to the final and not mess up.
Second half, Welbeck had a good headed chance in the 59th. Great chance for Antony, but he took a selfish shot. I mean, this is a great example here. Way too far out to be trying that.
Yeah.
Poor decision-making from Antony, and he was decently ineffective and did get the hook eventually. 62nd, Fred for Eriksen. We were dying for this sub. I don't think, again, Eriksen's second game in a row. Can't blame him. He's not fit. Yeah. Everyone knows he has it, but when you're playing these types of games against the quality of opposition like Brighton, Fred just has a little bit of that dog, run around all day. I think we needed that here, and he actually came on and was effective for United. 64th minute, Rashford pulled down on the edge of the box, no foul. That type of day. Martial, again, same thing, pulled down the 80th minute, but he would get subbed on for Sancho. 83rd minute, great save from De Gea after Brighton get back into the half. I mean, it was just
one of those games.
This is, I said it in the 32nd minute. This is going extra time. It just had that vibe. If you've seen cup games before like this, both teams are good. They're going to get half chances. We had some good saves from the keeper.
Both keepers,
especially Brighton keeper. In extra time, we go to extra time. Sabitzer on for Antony. Like I said, it wasn't Antony's best day. I don't think he was going to get us the winner. 98th minute, DeLow puts in a great ball for Sabitzer, but he kind of like tried to flick header. It went a little wide. And then 102nd minute double sub, Wout and Malacion for AWB and Bruno. I was like, oh no, here we go. Wout came on, did absolutely nothing.
He scored a pen. He got his pen.
I mean, in extra time, like
Yeah. I mean,
as far as like getting the ball and like
on the
I think
pitch.
he had a few spots he probably should have passed, tried to dribble, lose the possession. Also whinged when he didn't get passed to, I think, by Bruno when he had a great chance
couple
there.
times.
Sanchez with a big save on Rashford. He had a great chance at the 105th minute. 110th, Rashford pulled down by the last man. Brighton escaped without a call again.
A lot of that today.
The Sanchez moment was huge. I mean, this was a deflected shot from Rashford in the 105th minute. I thought that was going to win it. And then 112th minute, Rashford goes just wide. Then it was penalties. It was meant to be. Going to penalties against Brighton, and what is our...
Look at this order, sir.
Well, look at our penalty history. Is last time we were in a big cup competition in penalties.
How'd it go?
Here's the thing about United. De Gea, not great at saving penalties. Not great at playing out the back. We know his weaknesses. Why don't we have like a great keeper who stops penalties on the bench to sub in these situations?
Like you
Because
mentioned,
you're trying to
Sergio
win
Romero.
things.
Sergio Romero was a great one that we had. A cup
Yeah, Romero was unbelievable.
And
You put him in. The sub for the keeper to come in and play troll penalty stopper,
move.
love it. De
It's the
Gea
move.
just doesn't have, like, you watched him. We watched every penalty against Villarreal, right? Like 11 of them. It's like he does not have. He could have all the notes in the world.
He was checking his
Hey,
notes.
think of I knew in the World Cup final, Argentina-France, Lloris doesn't have I'm going to stop penalties energy. No. The other keeper who's just like going, he's a lunatic.
A lunatic.
Like he's stomping on the spot. He's like talking to the guy, getting in his head, like where the ref's like pulling him off of him. Like that is a dog that's going to stop penalties. De Gea ain't got none
it's
of that energy.
psychological as well.
De Gea is like he's not. He's
scared.
like all he does is like dive, and he's not a good penalty stopper. So we should have someone a specialist who can come in and do this, right? And we don't. So here we go. We're gonna have low energy De Gea penalty stopper in net, and just let it go through this again, which is rough. Cass scores. DeLow converts. Sancho scores. Rashford scores. Sabitzer, this one was a little soft. He scores. Wout's penalty somehow. I have no idea how
was
this.
the soft one. Smithster, he hit a top bucket. Wout was soft. Like if he had got the right, hey, he scored. That's all that matters because it's not guaranteed even hitting from 12 yards.
All right, then we're gonna end with the final penalty audio from ESPN FC here. Let's go. United final penalties, semifinal penalties. Let's go.
Wholehearted character to score for Manchester United. And Weghorst does. Final. It's March and it's over the bar. Is Victor Lindelof. And for the first time ever, the FA Cup final will be a Manchester derby.
What a penalty by Lindelof, by the way. Very credit to look. His nickname's the Iceman.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've seen him earn that nickname because that was a hell of a pen. Curling, top corner, and he iced the game. We're going to the final against our bitter rivals in Manchester City, and you love it because I feel like us and City are a little afraid of United. They're always a little. You look at that team, stone cold killers, murderers row.
It is. It's like that squad
With the
is
number one
unbelievable.
Viking.
Unbelievable. Dude, they have De
It's just like
Bruyne.
murderers, but for
Mahrez.
some reason we've snake bit them a few times.
We have.
There's some big games they played against us, and we got the best of them. Like they could have won the title against us. Obviously, Pogba's like best game ever for United. Showed up once, I think, out of all the games he played. Like he showed up the Europa League. You can count him on your hand, but that was like took over that game.
Yeah, he was.
That was
solid.
unbelievable. Humbled them there. Got him earlier this year. Got him at home with McTominay pre-COVID. I thought we've had some big moments against City. We should not be in these games, but they get a little shook playing against Manchester United because we still got that positive juju. That badge just means something that they don't have.
And you know what? We're going to have the advantage. They're going to have the momentum, right? They're going to have just won the league, most likely. You know, maybe they'll blow it. If they blow it now, I think they blow it. But we're going to have the crowd, bro, because they will not be able to match the away fans that are coming to Wembley for a final against City. No one else than City, because United are going to be up for it, bro. Like they were, City fans, I get it. We talked about this. Like, does it make sense to have the semifinals at Wembley when you have two teams from the north? Probably doesn't. That being said, City have won how many titles, bro? And they can't even fill out their side of the stadium. It'll be a little bit better to the final because they're playing United, but United's going to be like ripping, and that should give us the advantage. Plus, they have to. They're the favorite, and you know what? Today, guess who was the favorite? According to Craig Burley, he was like, Brighton are going to smoke them. I'm just happy Craig Burley is wrong because those tears I could drink up all day, baby.
I watching ESPN's coverage is brutal.
Awful.
Let's get into the stat sheet here. We had Brighton 15 shots to United's 15. Shots on target, United 6 to their 5. All that matters is the penalties. For the third time in the club's history, Manchester United reached the final of both the League Cup and FA Cup in the same season. They did in 82-83 and 93-94. And Manchester United have won their first penalty shootout since September 2019 when they beat Rochdale in the League Cup,
which was nervy
third
too.
round, and that was actually nervy.
I just want to point out one thing about the stats. They had 17 fouls and only got 1 yellow card. We had 13 fouls and got 3. You don't want to whinge about the refs, but that ref, he's a terrible ref.
But you
he's
whinge.
the best league in the world, the worst refs in the world.
But what do we know? Let's check in with the bald man, the manager, Eric Ten Hag. Here we go.
Showed first we are physical, strong, and we are mentally strong. So we showed the character and the personality, what is necessary to do that. And I can tell you it's not so easy, but we did it. I think we were determined to win this game. Rob.
Just on the character and the personality, David got a lot of criticism on Thursday. Played well today. Jadon and Marcus have missed penalties here in a big final before and put their hand up and scored. And be delighted at your players showing that kind of mentality.
Definitely. And David, I think, played a great game in and out of possession, had some great saves. But he's doing so often this season, great saves. We have the most clean sheets in the Premier League. Today, a clean sheet as well, because we were so determined. We fight for it. We were good organized. Of course, they had chances, but we had our chances as well in the transition and in the direct play. So we are happy with that. And for Moresi and Jadon about penalties, we knew that. But we knew also that they are comfortable in penalties, and they dealt with it. It's a time ago, but they are so calm and composed in training with penalties. And I know this is a different occasion, but I think it's great that they had this experience now, and that will help them for the future. And I don't think there's a hesitation. I think before there was never a hesitation because they are really good penalty takers. Dave.
You've now played Manchester City in the first all-Manchester FA Cup final. You've beaten them already this season. How confident are you can do so again and potentially ruin their chances of doing the treble?
We've proven that we could beat them, but then we have to play the perfect game. I think for me still that was the perfect game we played this season. But we have to go again. We know that. But first of all, we have to focus on different occasions, on different games, because we have to be in the top 4 to get into the Champions League for next season.
Priorities. Got to be in the top 4. Can't think about City. And I love how the schedule is setting up for that one where this could be after the season ends. Yep. So focus on top 4, lock that up. And then, you know what? Have fun, win a trophy, go toe-to-toe with your rivals and as fans. I think that's all we got to think about is lock up top 4. You win 90 minutes. You beat City. You can put a dent in their treble hopes. They're gonna might have the UCL final. I don't know exactly the schedule. If that's a week later, then so hopefully we can play spoiler. If they win the treble, we have no one else to blame but ourselves. The whole let's cheer on Arsenal to beat them, so they that's Sim City mentality right there. It's no, we're in the FA Cup final. We don't want them to win in trouble. Let's beat them. I don't care who's at our back line. We're going to battle. We're going to war. It's FA Cup final against our bitter rivals, Man City, and let's play spoiler. Let's take it from them. That's what Manchester United does. That's what we should do. It's in our DNA. Maybe these players get a little nervous, but it's time for us to step up, win some things.
Hey, you know what? don't worry about anybody else. We should just worry about ourselves. We're playing a top opponent, but we're a top team, and we're going to have
Don't think about Holland. Just don't think about
Holland.
Just don't think about the Viking yell. Just don't think about him. Just
Shaw shut him down
dominating you.
last time. He shut him down last time. This is a different proposition, of course, because he's not going to have Martinez or Varane next to him. But we have a chance to go win a second piece of silverware. We're going to another final. And now the priority between now and the end of May is just finishing the top 4. We don't have to worry about Europa League. We don't have to go to Turin, even though we'd love to go. Play them twice against a top opponent, Juve, who have been fucking difficult. Now it's just league games. Win, baby, win. That's the motto. And let's start. We got to talk about the table first, sir, as well. But Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, they got battered today against Newcastle 6-1, I believe. So they're going to be frisky, my man. Frisky.
Yeah, what does this mean? So switching to the league, right? We're going to be breaking down the Tottenham match coming up midweek. We got Arsenal in first. They bottled it for Southampton. Drew.
Just say bottled it again. I love when you say
Bottled it. They bottled it. Like they're just
I love Marteta Melton.
No, the it's really just bubbling up in the fan base where they're like, we're not bottling it, and then they keep bottling it. It's just like, here's the deal,
in a row, bro.
If we go another 10 years and we're still doing this pod and United start drawing like we are, if we have an 8-point lead,
they had an 11-point lead in January.
11-point lead, and we are going to lose it and bottle the league, the pod's over. I'm not
we ain't running
20 years. We go 20 years and we're up 8 points, and then we just start drawing the worst team in the league. You gotta have meltdown.
At home, bro.
It's almost like where it was funny, and then now I'm starting to feel bad for them because it is surely going to happen, and it is. And
Wednesday,
they're not going to be able to recover.
They're playing,
and I wouldn't be able to recover either. I wouldn't be able to if you had 8-point lead. 11. And you 20 years
11 points.
No, but 20 years they've had games in hand, they've had it all, they've had everything go their way.
They got some great calls this year.
They've got some great calls, extra time.
They've had time they get today.
Getting away with it. They had it, and then it's just draw. 6 points dropped, and City coming in just full of piss and vinegar, and it's that fan they're not gonna be able to handle it. I wouldn't be able to either. 20, we go another 10 without a title, and we blow it. It's it's gonna be hard to recover.
I know, but we're talking about top 4.
No, I know, but that's just has to be said. That's incredible that they're gonna literally they're wilting it exactly. They did the same thing with top 4. It was guaranteed last year. They melted down.
I know, but if they win on Wednesday, they're playing City on Wednesday. If they win on Wednesday, they win the league, right? Just like if we win on Thursday in London, we are gonna be in top 4. Because talking about top 4,
who has a better chance at beating
we have a better chance of beating Spurs than they have of beating City. I think. Obviously, with a makeshift back 4.
That's probably close. It's probably close. It's probably
but
close.
Newcastle hop ahead of us with 1 extra game played, so they're at 59. We're at 59. They obviously have the goal differential. We know what United's goal differential is all about this year. And then in 5th place is small team from London named Tottenham Hotspur at 53 points. So if we win, we go 9 points ahead. With a game in hand, 2 games in hand against Spurs.
No, but we would have 1. If we win, we would go 9 points, and we'd still have a game in hand, and it's over. If we beat Tottenham, it is over. Top 4 is it's not mathematically locked, but it's if you'd
have to really shit the bed.
9 points with a game in hand is even.
We got Wolves at home, Fulham at home. Tough match. We have to play Villa. I think we have to play Brighton. We have to play Chelsea. Someone else, some other crap team in the mix, but you beat Spurs, you're coasting easy street.
It's a big game, and that's what we're talking about. Tottenham versus Manchester United. Lads, is Tottenham. We're playing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Thursday, April 27th, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Wow, this is going to be a hell of a match. Games won versus Tottenham, 96. Drawn, 49. Lost, 53. Lads, it's Tottenham. First time we played them was 1899. We drew 1-1 the FA Cup. Last 5, 1-4. The only time we lost was that stupid red card.
Lamella.
That Lamella trolled us, and by the way, he got the best of us with Sevilla. But it has been a good run against Tottenham. They fired their manager recently. They just lost big to Newcastle 6-1. We did lose to Newcastle, but
not 6-1.
Not 6-1. So, judging by EPL math, we should beat them by a slim margin.
Lost the Cherries at home, blew a lead. I think they blew that lead. They did not. Yeah.
They beat Brighton 2-1, though. in the league. They drew Everton 1-1. They drew Southampton 3-3. We drew Southampton as well, but we had the red card. So
Conte's gone. Your boy Conte got the boot. He's cashing those checks.
They're all over the place. We're all over the place.
Yeah, that's true.
And these are desperate times for both of these teams. And it's going to be nervy. For me, Manchester United it's no more messing around. Like, okay, Europa League, okay. That's everyone says, "Oh, Europa League, it's not, we don't care." That's a way to the Champions League.
Yeah.
And there's nobody in it. And all we had to do was beat a 13th place Sevilla team to play a bad Juventus team to win the whole thing. Like, it would have been, I'm saying, like, if you look at top 4, Europa League is probably the easier way to do it. Bottled it.
In
now we
EPL,
got to do it the hard way.
Yeah, we do.
You listed those opponents on the run-in.
They're hard.
Not easy. So could be a 13th place Sevilla side. Now you got to do it the hard way. And you know what? That means you have to show up against Tottenham. There's no excuse. This team doesn't get off the bus and we let this team beat us. We are going to be in a nervy road for top 4.
You can't lose.
This has to be a no effing around. Like, let's go.
Yeah, worst case scenario is you draw, but you cannot lose. You can't lose.
United don't lose to Tottenham in this situation.
I play a midfielder because they're going to be frisky because they know how big this game is. They're going to be playing like it's a cup final, so they have to. They just got fucking annihilated by Newcastle. They have to win this game, and we have to not let them win the game.
We're going to be going to their 62,000 seat Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which was built in April 2019. They replaced our former White Hart Lane, which we have been to, sir. Boy, was that a trash heap. Haven't been to the new stadium in London.
You really think we saw them play at Wembley, right?
We had poles in front. It was like you can't even see the pitch because you got poles you got to look through. It was horrible. The White Hart Lane.
Selhurst Park.
We were going to go to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium away with Manchester United, but then COVID hit and the game was canceled. It was the first game that was canceled. Again, the podcast jinx. We're going to go watch the semifinal. Can't go. Then COVID hit. Can't go. Last year, I think Chelsea got into the FA Cup final. Then they canceled that game.
Can't go.
We jinx these fixtures all the time. Hopefully it doesn't create another pandemic when we go to try to watch Wolves play United at home.
Hopefully there's no Glazer out. Like they announced like a week before that the Glazers aren't selling, and like all the fans shut down the game, and there we are. They're stuck in Manchester.
Yeah, or the King of England. Something happens, like something crazy. So, regardless, we do jinx it. But this game has got to set the tone. And as a United fan, look, I'll swallow the L from Sevilla.
It's over.
Brighton. Great performance. Way to hang in there with the top side.
It was.
Tottenham, no excuses. There's no excuses. You got to show up. You got to take it to them. It's got to be that dog mentality. I can't have wet noodle FC. I can't have nothing like that. We got to outplay them. We got to want it more. I know that sounds like the most cliche thing ever, but with this team, it's like that's what we lack. We lack that, like, in a big game, the must win. We have, like, big game must win Newcastle away, didn't show up. Big win must win Sevilla away, didn't show up. Big game Tottenham away, must win. What are we going to do? So I've seen it so many times this season. Liverpool added to the list. Big game must win, didn't show up. So we got to, at some point you got to say, hey guys, we got to turn this around, and this is the one to do it. And if you bottle this one, it's going to be a fun last month of the season.
Which you probably will.
Which I don't need.
Which you probably will. Because you know what? You think
I literally just got new blood pressure meds. I literally my doctor's like,
double them. Get more.
Not even kidding. Like, need another drug.
Your doctor's going to be like, watch golf. John, you should watch golf. Give up football.
He's like,
too intense.
Manchester United is not good for your health.
Well, we said that for years. This game, sir, every time we've had a game like this season away, we've shit the bed. We're due to shit the bed. This is a bad Spurs side, bro. They lack character. They lacked heart. They have no one stepping up. Lloris looks like he could be beaten easily. I think they subbed him at halftime. Was that today? Today. So it's a huge match for United. I think it's important to show the character. Hopefully the Bruno injury, that's the reason he came off. The only reason he came off when United is playing football is because he's injured. So hopefully that's precaution. Garnacho on the way back. That's going to be an important one. Hopefully get Scott back because he can play center back if needed. Sir, hey, it's going to be fun. And you know what? We got an extra special bonus of like...
It's going to be real fun.
Real fun.
Let's get into injuries. Martin is out. Donnie out. McTominay fighting to be back. Varane up to 6 weeks. We'll get into that one. Tom Heaton's injured. Phil Jones, LOL. And then Garnacho fighting back.
He hasn't been on the list all year.
Given
For some
those,
reason, he's on the list like he's part of the team, bro.
Given those are the injuries, what's your starting 11 here?
Wrap this Phil Jones. I want to wrap that up because he's like literally like they asked Eric Ten Hag a question a couple months ago about Phil Jones. He's like, he hasn't even been available for a practice once. Like the whole year. He can't even like make the fitness level to go to practice. So Phil Jones, I can't believe they gave him a new contract.
Put me in, coach.
John is ready. John continues to be ready. At least once a pod, he will pick himself.
I don't know when Ten Hag's going to listen.
I'll tell you what, if Wout Weghorst can play on this team, maybe John from America Dallas can play this team. My 11, I'm doing De Gea and net. AWB, what a player. Don't even think about selling him this year. Lindelof, Shaw, Malacia, give the low blow, even though he has played decent at left back with all the injuries we've had. I'm going to do Fred, Casemiro, Bruno. I'm going to give Eriksen a blow because he's coming up to fitness, and we're going to need him in the run-in. Rashford on the left, Tony Martial up front. And I'm going to do Sancho on the right because I don't think Anthony's been as good. And I thought Sancho, when he came out today, he looked pretty good. He's finally running at players, showing some heart. So that's what I'm going to do. Who you got in the 11, sir?
I'm going to say Dave saves world number one.
Keep saying it.
World number one.
Keep saying it. Maybe it's like you ended up on the pitch.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka,
John can play.
Lindelof, Shaw, Malacia, Fred, Casemiro for me. I'm going to go Bruno, Rashford. I almost said Wout.
Don't do it to yourself.
Martial and Anthony. I mean, that it just picks itself. You got to keep going with those. And, what do the bookies say here?
Tottenham, plus 180. Draw, plus 260. United, the slight favorites, plus 140. Sir, given the odds, what is your score prediction?
I think we're going to do 2-0. 2-0. I think we're going to win. This is if United can't win this game, then we're going to be absolutely screwed for the end of through the end of the season. Because this is the game. I understand like not trying in certain games because it's just not a big spot. I even understand the Brighton one. It's like we want to be in the FA Cup final, but it's really this is the game that matters the most. If you look at the run-in, it's like you're playing against the teams you're fighting for top 4. Newcastle was that one, got dusted, didn't even show up. And so you can lose this game, you got to show up. Yeah, you have to show up.
Can't knock it off the bus because
exactly.
Newcastle, we didn't get off the bus. Sevilla away, we did not get off the bus.
You can lose an exciting game, but you got to show up. And that's my bar is show up. So please show up.
We're playing for a $100 million check at the end of the day. The last 3 games have all been pivotal, right? Sevilla could have gotten you there, shot the bed. We show up today in Wembley for sure. I think we could have done even better, but got the result most importantly. This is arguably the most important of the 3 because top 4, that's where your bread is buttered. We want to be the Champions League.
But also expect a hostile environment. Expect Tottenham to show up. Like,
I mean, the crowd won't be in it, but the team could be in it.
Surprise sometimes. Like,
dude, teams show up because you play in United is like playing a cup final. We're the biggest team in the world. Clearly the biggest team in England. Everybody wants to beat us on their home ground, and Tottenham had just got embarrassed by Newcastle. They're going to show up. We just need to match them and not get like rolled over early. If we stay in this game, we can win this game.
I feel like the wheels are coming off.
Tough
the bus
one. I call it 1-1. I'm calling a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
Sir.
You called penalties today. I mean,
but I called us losing in penalties. So hey, let's see the news.
United in the news from Jamie Jackson, The Guardian. Eric Ten Hag will oversee clear out of senior Manchester United players with Jadon Sancho, Tony Martial, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, Scott McTominay, and Fred, heading a list of 15 players whose future is under threat at Manchester United. Look, I'm sure Eric Ten Hag wants to get rid of all these players.
Who's executing the transfers?
I'm sure Ole wanted to get rid of a few players.
That's a good point. Another good point. Even
Rangnick wanted to get rid of a few players. Told him who to get rid of.
They laughed at him.
Gave him a list of bluffers. By the way, Magoo's top of the list. You know how I know? We were there. Crystal Palace, last game of the season. Horrid season. They lose away to Crystal Palace. Pogba didn't even show up. Ronaldo didn't even show up. He showed up. He didn't even care about clapping the away fans. And it's like, those are the details that you see when you go. Yeah. It's like Bruno was crying, clapping us up because he was so upset how ashamed he was. And Maguire kind of like half clap, like, let's get out of here. Like, it's over. Finally. So
yeah, who's Captain Material?
He's and that's why I said he shouldn't be the captain of Manchester United because I saw that in person away at Crystal Palace, and it is Selhurst Park. It's a great away stand, but seeing what the players do in those moments can show you who should be captain. And Bruno's probably more up for it than Magoo, and Magoo's got to go. That one will happen.
Top of this list,
we can sell him some.
Top of this list. Who on this list do you want? Obviously, Maguire. There's a market for him. We're going to lose $50 million on the amortization, but you got to sell him because he's not good enough, and he's only going to get older, and he's already old. So sell him. I don't want to sell
no
Lindelof.
controversy in
I wouldn't
selling.
sell McTominay.
No, but there's no controversy in the selling names. Like, the controversy is that we will not take the L and lose the amortization of the contract, which benefits the non-cash expense for the Glazers, as well as we will not fund the £500 million that are required to replace all these names. Jadon Sancho will be at Manchester United. Guaranteed next season.
Yes, because no one's going to pick up his
Guaranteed.
wages. No one will pick up his wages because he's not
Tony
worth
Martial.
anywhere near that.
Like, here's the thing. I look at this list. Everyone's putting all these lists up. Who will pay money for players? Harry Maguire will get $15 million.
No, you get
Someone-
25.
Who?
You'll get money for if
Who's
you want,
paying? This
like West Ham would buy a Maguire.
Okay,
Like,
here's
you could
the
sell him to
pro-
West
here's
Ham, you could
here's
sell him to
here's
Palace.
ultimately the problem. The problem with Maguire was the rumor this summer 35 to Chelsea.
You sell
that is gone down to probably around 20, and it's going to be like a 22 something, but it's going to be like 10 up front. It's going to be a horrid deal. Is
Yeah,
the
but
point?
payment terms
Last
are
summer
less
would have
the
been
option. Less our
you
our
have
prerogative.
to. The longer you hold on to a player and let him show how bad he is, the more value you lose in selling him. Magoo's down to 20. He looks horrible, and we will not get a lot of money. You can sell him. You can sell Lindelof. You can sell McTominay. You probably can sell Fred.
You definitely
can't sell Martial,
Nope.
and you can't sell Jadon Sancho.
Correct.
Those two players will be at United because you cannot sell them.
Correct. You should not sell Lindelof because we were talking about he's great when he doesn't play. Not great. He's very good when he doesn't play next to Harry Maguire. When he plays next to Maguire, they both wilt. He's a great number 4. And that just like he's a perfect option. He's pretty good with his feet. He was good today. And we don't need to sell him. Scott, I am open to keeping him around. Same with Fred. You'll never be able to sell Tony Martial because he can't stay fit, right? So he's got 1 year left on his contract. We'll keep him for another year, and then we'll let him leave. You'll never get anywhere near Jadon Sancho's value in terms of what we paid for him and what we're giving him. It's one thing to overpay for a player. It's another thing to give him like stupid wages so you could never sell him, and we will never, ever, ever be able to sell Jadon Sancho unless we eat the contract, which we won't because it's like a $90 million contract.
Well, that's the number one issue with United, and you look at our squad.
we
Everything
overpaid
about
double.
it is that there will not be a lot of money. We're talking like 100 million net, 150 million net. You need 500 million net to like fix this whole team. We will not do it. And I also think that the more work you do in a summer kind of messes with the squad. So like this year, you can basically say there's things you know, and the thing you know is we need a striker. And that striker is not Wout, and it ain't Martial.
At least
right?
one. At least one.
You need probably 2 options at striker, and then I'm fine to have Martial be number 3.
Yeah.
So you don't need to worry about getting rid of him. You need another CDM because when Casemiro gets that red card, you're screwed.
Right.
So you need like Casiado, Camavinga, a baller. You need someone to run. You need somebody. You need a young buck who's gonna be able to learn from Cass and own that spot because you need a backup option there because we saw ourselves play without Casemiro, and if you want to see us play Brighton without him, have a laugh.
Yeah.
Right? And that isn't Scott and ain't Fred. And so you need somebody there. You need center back cover, and you need a young upcoming goalkeeper. You have to have those things to get better next year.
Those are the 4 priorities.
That are at a minimum. Now you got to add the right back. You got to make a call on Delo. And then on the right wing is a mess. You got Ahmad, Facundo, Anthony. Nobody's good enough. Like Ahmad is not going to be good enough to like fight for that. Facundo ain't good enough to fight for that. And Anthony needs someone fighting with him for that position. So if you want to go that 500 million scenario that will never happen, you need a right winger because we don't have that. We need pace out there. We do not. We need Rashford, not 2.0 on the right wing. And that's too much to do in one summer.
Rashford 2.0.
What I'm trying
around.
to say is like that's too much to do in a summer. So you're going to see United do this over 2 summers. Like that work is going to be done over 2 or 3 summers. This is a long-term transition. So I think you do like one striker, CDM, center back, and young goalie.
You'd be good.
And you survive with the low in AWB for another year. I mean, you're just going to have to do it. That's just the way it is. It's something like that will happen. We'd be lucky to get all that done, honestly. And
If those are quality positions, right? If you have upgraded McGuire, sell everybody else that you want to sell. But CDM, top tier striker like a Harry Kane, a really good up and coming goalkeeper that could challenge De Gea. That's the 4. If you got those in, you'd be thrilled, right? If you got Kane, obviously I'd love Casiedo as the next guy up. He should have been ours. 5 million fucking idiots.
But you're going to go right back, Frimpong. You're going to get like another Malacia right back situation, but then you got to decide who you want to keep.
But I'm not going to, dude, how could you get rid of AWB? He could shut down anybody. He's unbelievable defensively, and he's looking better and better going forward. You do not sell him. He's actually starting to look like a borderline, we paid 50. He's now like north of 30 in terms of value. He's got it. I would just stick with him and probably Delo because he could play on both sides. You bring on Frimpong, he's just an option. He could play on the right wing. He's an unbelievable attacker. Anyway, what's next, sir?
Give us our injury update.
United. Big news. Fear key defender Rafael Varane could miss the rest of the season with an ankle injury that may keep him out for 6 weeks. Obviously, we know Martinez. He's out the season. He got his surgery earlier this week. Sounds like it was all successful, so he should be good to go for preseason in Los Estados Unidos, finest land in the land. So that'll be fun. This is one to watch. If Varane can get fit for like last game of the season is against Fulham at home, right? So you could play him 30 minutes. That would be ideal. And then he could play like at least the first 60, 70 minutes against City. I'm not counting on it. 6 weeks. I mean, hell, it's the 23rd today of April. It's going to be tough. I think you're going to be with like Lindelof and Shaw, which is against
work today.
Holland. It did work today, but they didn't have a Holland. They'll have a Holland and a De Bruyne and a Rodri and a Mahrez and fucking Grealish and those Cavs. This is a big one. We need more center backs.
Yeah, but it's a big game. Like,
big
there's
games.
something about United and City that the City players are spooked by playing Manchester United. There's something about it.
They play for a small club, and they
exactly,
have no fans.
Exactly.
They have no fans,
yes,
and they don't show
the
up.
Point. And so anyone on any given day wearing that shirt can step up and win something for this club. And I'm excited because the pressure's going to be on them. I guess that's a better way to put it. The pressure's on them.
Yeah, we're the underdog.
The pressure's on them for the title. Pressure's on them for the Champions League.
Yep.
Pressure's on them for the FA Cup. Come get it. And let's hope Magoo De Gea don't do the normal circus clown show. Next bit of news here, sir. A little bit of a row over Garnacho playing in the U20 World Cup.
Yep.
Javier Mascherano, the coach, is set to fly to England to talk to United about getting Garnacho back fit to play him in this competition, where obviously fans do not want that to happen, or United do not want that to happen, given his recent injury. Again, too many international games here. And obviously U20s, like what do you mean?
This is preposterous. First of all, it's at the end of the season. So what they're saying is it was only going to be an issue if we made it to either the final of the Europa League, which we don't have to worry about, or the final of the FA Cup, which we now have to worry about. So like the fact that they're going to pull our player who's just come back from injury, he was on the gram this week. It's looking promising. It looks like he'll be back in the next week or two. Dude, he set up the goal, the winner against City at home to feed Marcus Rashford. The idea you're going to pull him out for like an under 20 fucking cup competition that doesn't matter. If you wanted him, you should have brought him to Qatar. It's like, you know what? You can bugger off. Apparently, we don't have a say in the matter. Like if they call uncle, they get to just take him because FIFA is backing them to take whoever they want. Mascherano, I don't like it, bro. You're a Liverpool player. Like, you can bugger off because he should get into fitness. He should play in the FA Cup final. He would play. He might not start, but he would play. And then it should be about the summer, getting some rest, and then a big preseason in the States. Because, like, who gives a fuck about the U20s, bro? Are you kidding me?
Ooh, 20s.
Like that?
Some people call them the U20s.
Yeah,
Alex calls them the ooh 20s.
Yeah.
Jumping into the fan questions at Ty Kircher. Very glad we made it through. Ooh, 20s. Top 10 Villa.
Hey,
Let's
top
go.
6. How right was I about that?
It'll be a tough final, but a final is a final. Saw it out with
Well
a makeshift back line. Disappointed in the midfield and attack today. Didn't seem to grab the game at any point. Happy to move on to another cup final at Wembley. Look, Ty is sharp. He knows his stuff. At Heels529, is the Lindelof-Shaw pairing the right one going forward this season? I would say Absolutely, it is. The problem is Ten Hag not playing Magoo. He has a tendency to play Magoo, and I'm worried about that because Maguire would have got done today.
Done. He would have.
Even Lindelof got done a few times.
And Lindelof played really well. He really fought through it. I thought the defense played really well. That is the center back pairing if they're available, and given Martinez and Varane are out, if you're playing the big teams, yes. I don't know who the crappy teams we have left. But if you're playing like a bottom 10 team, a bottom 20 team, whatever, last 10, I'm mixing my head up now. It's been a long day. Then you can play Maguire, right? If you're playing like Forest, you can play Maguire, but you're not going to play him against Villa because Villa would rip him to shreds. So you play Lindelof and Shaw. That's right.
At El Mutongu, woo, sirs. Abysmal start to the game, but thankfully we got the result. Felt like the most of the game was played on the back foot with the guys yet again not ready to start on time. Questionable subs in extra time, but luckily it worked out on the Tottenham. Yeah, when I saw Wout, I was like, oh my God. Yeah. I was like, he can't be in the top 5 penalties.
He wasn't. At
least he wasn't.
He scored his penalty. He kept it on the ground. It was savable. But
we do need to get into that because Wout took the penalty, celebrated like he won the World Cup. Then he took the ball from the referee, then kissed it,
and the guy missed it. The guy missed it though. That was Marsh.
Kiss of death.
Kiss of death.
Kiss of Wout. Kiss of Wout.
He's got in a cup game. He's got some black magic. He's got like some voodoo magic. You know, he did kiss the ball and the guy missed it. So
he's like licking the ball.
Best thing he's done all year.
The Big Lebowski. What was that? Who was the keeper of that?
Yeah, hey, Jesus. Yeah. I had the Jesus man. The best is Lindelof buries it and he like runs straight to our end and just like knee slides like anyone who won a fan contest like he did would do. Wouldn't you? If you were in the FA Cup semis and your team won it on penalties, you'd celebrate it with your own fans.
I would as well. At Rolling the Deep 1995, often when we've lost, our next result has been a grinding result, and this was exactly that. Ben don't break from us, but we held firm, and we're ice cold in the shootout. The prospect of watching Maguire defend Haaland in the final scares me, but we'll see what happens. I think the best angle is head-to-head collision, like Magoo just like headbutts the Viking.
The whole team.
No, he just headbutts the Viking in the head and assumes that like Norwegians have weaker skulls than whatever he's got going on.
He looks like
that would be like the better way to
Haaland's got like a pretty strong head. I think the chances if
no.
Lindelof and Shaw are available,
no,
you don't play Maguire.
Harry Maguire's skull is like at least 2 inches thick. You know, it doesn't make any sense.
Fossilized.
With a top haircut to boot. At JDW300, Iceman, man of the match, undoubtedly. He and Shaw should be our starting center backs for the rest of the season. Their speed and agility make our back four much better than Lindelof, Shaw having to help cover for Maguire. Derby final, let's go. I have to agree here. Like, we really played well defensively. We really hung in there with a really good attacking team, and we got destroyed by a horrid Sevilla side. So, I mean, it's great to see the weakness from Sevilla being our strength here. And it was the attack in midfield that let us down. Although some could say our midfield and attack let us down against Sevilla as well.
We never got off the bus. Today we showed up. We played a tough team, and we fought. We had really good chances, didn't make the most of them. But dude, we got some luck on our side too. It's like we haven't won a penalty penalty shootout in so long, right? Since 19. Today we got some luck. The boys buried their chances. He was checking his notes furiously, but didn't matter at the end of the day. Luckily, he didn't have to take one because that would have been. I don't know if I could handle that Villarreal again.
They ain't going in.
I go into shock.
Last one here at Jamal Mota. Sirs, Iceman wins it for us. He played spectacular, nowhere near our best. And those subs were scary, but we win it on pens. I might need some of John's heart pills. Dave made a few good saves in the game, but can't stop a pen for nothing. Let's go beat City and finish third. I mean, that's really the mentality.
What a year that would be.
What a year. I mean, I feel like I've already ridden the wave, like kind of a title race. Then Europa League's opening up. It's going to be easy street. Sevilla do us dirty. Now we're back fighting, getting to the City final. You know, United, they're not good for your health. The ups and downs all around. But that's why we're here. That is why we love this team. That's why we do this podcast. And that is this podcast. If you like the America Devils, support us on Patreon, americadevils.com as well for all of our merch and blog, etc. You can find us on Patreon, www.patreon.com/AmericaRedDevils. So it's been a great time, hanging out here in the pod bunker, getting hot, starting to sweat.
I know.
It's that time of year. Give us our top 10 cities the last 7 days.
We got no AC in the pod room. Number 1, how you doing? How you doing? London, England, Los Angeles, California, New York, Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Melbourne, Australia, San Francisco, California, Miami, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, and last but not least, Brooklyn, New York. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. Couldn't do without you. Everything's still left to play for this season. Let's get third. Let's beat City. And let's keep the ball
what
rolling.
a way
Spurs.
beating City.
Imagine end of the year, we finish third and we beat City in the final. It'd be nervy as hell. But
Sir, we got a great sign to end on. We've won it all.
we've seen a lot.